Hello everybody and welcome back to One Hub Racing. We are here on a Sunday evening and guess what? It's a late night talk show with myself and Odems. Apology for the delayed start, but we felt everyone needed time to digest that Canadian Grand Prix result. Let us know in the chat what your thoughts are. But for myself and Odems, we won't talk about it on air because we don't want this to turn into a heavyweight boxing match. But yeah,
there will
Odems.
be a lot of cursing and just it wouldn't be pleasant for anyone involved.
Exactly. So we'll talk about what happened on Friday, which is what we're here to do. And
The better
Odems,
F1.
yeah, no, totally. Let's come definitely watch our races. Much more entertaining. The stewards are spot on as well, which is good. So all right, let's dive straight into it. Obviously, apologies for missing the Podium Tier commentary. I hope I left you within good company of Sean and Odems. I was away on holiday last week as well, so missed early part of this week, so I missed the late night talk show last week. But yeah, we'll summarise Belgium, which Odems always puts on a thrilling race, and as you mentioned in your history and track guide, it's featured in every season that we've done at One Hub Racing.
It has. It's a staple on the calendar. It just has to be there. Otherwise, it just feels like an empty season. And as it has always been on the calendar, we've also had the most amount of winners around here, which before the race was 14, and I believe there was no repeat winners. Yes, there wasn't. So that would make it 18?
Yep.
Yes. 18 different winners around this track. Only person to win twice is McSendit, my good friend McSendit.
I think it's one of those track items, and we saw it on Friday night in all the tiers. Like the changing weather conditions, Rouge and Radion are even trickier than any previous game, and it can just kind of throw up that mix up of results. And all the way through the previous seasons, it's done exactly the same as that.
Yeah, it has. It's a very dynamic track. There's a lot of places to overtake. There's a lot of places to crash. A lot of huge chance of rain. So yeah, it's always going to throw up something, and we saw in our batch of races that it did once again.
Yeah, definitely. We'll start with the podium tier. Not the best attendance. We're coming very close to the end of this game cycle. Not long until F1 2019 will be out. But we got 3 races to go to finish this season off in style. And as I mentioned, podium tier, there's only one man on the top, of course. That is Josh, absolutely dominating at the moment. And yeah, started off on pole position by a massive margin. Then the rest of the field, I'd say from kind of second down to Gazza in 7th, all on those super softs, we're pretty close. So the tier is close. It just seems to be that Josh just has that pace advantage.
Yeah, as me and Sean were talking about during the race, I'm not sure if you know this as well. Josh did his qualifying night on full traction. So for his first race, the second race of the season, he actually learned medium traction, and he's naturally he's a lot quicker. So that's why all of a sudden he's just dominating, and yeah, huge gaps from him. He seems everyone just has to pull out something huge to try and beat him.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's on his way to the championship. But we won't talk about those just yet because there's lots of racing on Friday. And Odems, I watched a bit of this race, but it didn't seem like it was a action-packed one. Obviously, there was that incident between the 2 Haas cars and Zach Jarvis, I believe. What did you make of that incident? It was really hard to tell because we haven't seen any on-board footage from what's in the steward's office. It's only what's on the stream, and the camera angle's quite far away from it.
Yeah, the Camel straight, because of that little kink, it makes things very awkward. D-Boy Dan sort of didn't really know where Zach Jarvis was going, and it was just a bit of miscommunication, really. It wasn't smooth. D-Boy Dan turns at the wrong time. I think he ends up desyncing Zach, and he goes into the course of his teammate Pepulu. Zach out of the race, and the 2 Haas boys with a lot to try and salvage from the race afterwards.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Josh absolutely going on to completely dominate that one. Of course, everyone making 2 stops. That is the mandatory rule this season. Ian finishing in second. You almost feel like himself and Gaz are going to be battling out for second in this championship. Aaron, a good result for him, up in 4th position. Jamie finishing the top 5, and obviously Jamie Odems, we'll speak a little bit about him. He's renouncing his retirement again from league racing, but it's obviously going to stay involved with the league through commentary and his head of teams roles. But it's not like when he retired before. He's retiring now with a podium, but also he's consistently finishing that in the top 5.
Yeah, he is. He's been solid, to be fair. We never see him out of place. He's always in around that top 5, challenging for podium. He's always near his teammate who's battling for the championship. He has been a very he's been a lot better, has Gaza this season. Not Gaza, Jamie this season, and he's going to retire on a high, I believe.
Awesome stuff. Papulu, D-Boy, Dan, Thunder Phoenix in the points again. So it's definitely been his best season to date. Odem's only 1 phase in the points as well. Only 9 finishers in the podium tier. And let's talk about, we shouldn't have favourite tiers, but I mean, come on. 20 drivers, full house. What isn't there to love about these boys?
Oh, position tier. They're like that. It's like, it's dirty, it's chaotic. We have the most incidents, we have the most arguments, but at the end of the day, you just love them, don't you? You love all 20 drivers. They all showed up. They all gave us another cracker. Me and Sam were watching this, and we had no idea what was going on. We were like, oh, I think he's winning. I think he's second, and we ended up being totally wrong. Because obviously this track, you could either use 2 softs or 2 supers, so we had just no clue, how everyone would converge on each other towards the end of the race. Nick L.J. Thompson played it perfectly. At the end, he took the win, and I was cheering on my boys White Fountain and Scorpion, and I think the strategy kind of let them down a bit, but yeah, it was a really hectic race, but it was a really fun one to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say I watched this one, and it was just, you just can't summarize it. We could talk about this whole talk show, the Precision Tier race, for half an hour, and we still wouldn't be able to cover everything that happened. Let's just run through. Cloudy, obviously formerly known as Cloudy, on pole position. What did you make of that? Good performance from him, 6/10 quicker than the new boy. Metza in the Precision Tier taking over from Farf in the Renault. Good performance from both those guys.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely not it was not the top 2 you would have expected going into the race, for sure. Cloudy pulling an absolute scorcher of a lap out of his back pocket and doing very well to take pole position. The race didn't go as well, but it was a good start for Cloudy and Mazza as well. Yeah, he had a nice debut for sure. Started off nice at least.
Yeah, what did you make of that incident, Ashiana? Do you think it was just wrong place, wrong time? It didn't look like, he was just caught up, wasn't he? He was just approached the 2 cars in front who were battling and just caught him at the wrong moment.
I didn't quite catch it. This was after his pit stop, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably one of those, you want to get past as quick as possible, but it just didn't happen. And he got caught up in their little skirmish.
Somehow, though, Nick Thompson takes his first win in the league from 6th on the grid, so he played it perfectly, as you said. White Fountain, we all know he'd finish up there because he usually does. Good result for him, though, nonetheless. Westy had to fight back from 13th on the grid. Can we possibly say that maybe a bit of rain is his only chink in his armor this season?
Seems like it. He was saying that he just had nothing. He couldn't do anything in qualifying. He was struggling. And that 13th place was the best he could muster. And yeah, it seems that if we're gonna have anyone curb Westy, it's gonna hopefully be done in the rain. Maybe that's their best opportunity.
And the next 3 races coming, obviously Germany, Austria, and Silverstone. These are some of the tracks why we picked them, because we can get rain, mixed conditions. Yeah, he'll obviously need to work on that if it is his weakness. Chris, he's taken a bit of stick recently from some drivers in his tier. He's been in the steward's office quite a bit. From 14th on the grid to 4th. I had a chat with him before the race and just said, look, if someone passes you, you got plenty of opportunities to get back past them. It's not, the end of the world on this game. Obviously, a former champion. Best way to do your talking, I guess, is with the results on track.
Yeah, it started off well. It didn't seem like he had blown anybody up, but unfortunately his race came to a really awful end at the hands of another Codemasters glitch.
No, that was qualifying.
Oh, that was in
He
quali, was
finished
it?
4th, yeah. Yeah, that was in quali.
Yeah, I thought as much. I was really confused. Yeah, it was in quali. In the race, yeah, because I saw him battling. Yeah, all right, that makes more sense. So yeah, he finished 4th. Good job from him.
Scorpion finishing in the top 5 again, so both Red Bulls up there to continue their Constructors' Championship hopes. TK in 6th position, Lawrence in 7th scoring points. Lukey seems, will he ever get any luck this season, in 8th position. Niles in 9th and Victor in 10th. I mean, Odins, if you just look through, and I'll try and scroll through to the results of the second half of the field, but the top 14, so everyone that finished, the top 14 drivers finished within 44 seconds of each other. I think if today's race in Canada, shorter track, everyone up to 5th was lapped.
Yeah, what can we say? F1 really needs to look at F1 one hub racing, and they need to know what they're missing out on. They need to learn on what they're failing to do.
That's it. And then maybe they'll change their name, and we can get our legal team onto them. But that's another day, another story. Alrighty, let's move on to the Pinnacle Tier. And Odems, this race we knew was going to start in rain, so we actually saw some drivers try and start on that soft compounded tire. All 3 who did, though, actually finished outside the top 10.
Yeah, didn't
So
make sense to me at all.
it didn't quite work, but nevertheless, it went from dry to wet, back to dry for the final few laps. Dark Bolt played it pretty well, got pole position, and went on, looked pretty dominant. He had a battle with his teammate, but his teammate decided to pick up a penalty for himself and the rest of the globe. But nevertheless, Dark Bolt, I didn't really know much about him before the season, but I picked him as a title contender, and he seems to be doing just that.
Yeah, he did. He's really exploded in pace, and he wouldn't be out of place in the Pinnacle the Prestige tier rather. And that's why we see him not quite dominating, but he's definitely in the region. You could say dominating in the Pinnacle tier. He just needs to keep doing it, doesn't he? He has a lot of competition, and he just needs to keep his head in the game, and we'll see where it takes him.
Yeah, Pinnacle Tier, obviously, Odems is another close one. A lot of these drivers are, pretty much the whole grid, you have to say, on their day is separated by, within a second for sure.
Yeah, and there's, as we said, there's 4 different winners after 5 races, and we still have people like Malloy and Danestar yet to win a race. So it is very action-packed, very close. The tightest grid in the league, I think.
Dark Bolt, as you said, went on to take the win, so another Sauber 1-2. Scott Fielder finished in third place, jumped Danestar, who got 2 rear punctures on the last lap. Let's talk about the conditions. Obviously, I raced in the Odems, started on dries, had to make that decision. Most of us went supers to softs or soft to super, and then came in spaghetti chips. Fitted an extra set of softs when he was meant to pick supers, so his race went down the pan.
Stupid, idiotic thing to do, eh?
Well,
just brain dead behavior. Imagine it couldn't be me. Something as idiotic as that.
No, definitely not. Never could. And then for the last few laps, I remember when the tires were pretty worn, the inters, and it was coming towards 3 or 4 laps towards the end. And do you know what I mean? I think I was in, at the time, 5th or 6th position, and I just went for it. And it was the right call. And part of what made me do it, Odense, was the fact that it's the longest track on the calendar. So you've got, even though it's 3 laps, you've got probably the most time to try and gain.
Yeah.
So do you want to praise my strategy, or?
I really don't. I really think we should just kind of move on.
Okay. Anyway, well, Danestar finished 4th with 2 rear punctures, just about crossed the line. I finished in 5th position. Owen from 14th on the grid recovered to 6th. He would have definitely been in that podium position, but he made that one mistake. Mally finished in 7th, Spaghetti Chips in 8th, Glock in 9th, and James Slater, who was having connection issues, come across the line in 10th. Let's talk about the Prestige tier and my man. Can we all just have a minute silence for Rafa?
No,
Yes.
we can't. Why would we
His
do
first
that?
pole, his first win at One Hub Racing. He's been working so hard towards this. He attends every race. He loves One Hub, and he's got his first pole and win. What a story.
Yep. As you know, I am sort of a one hub fact man, and one fact I'll give you is that after the first 2 laps of the race, he was the only driver in the top 8 using ABS. But yeah, it was a good win. He did well.
Not salty at all, are you, from that one?
No.
But Louis, front row start again. This time out, he just needs to convert that into the race. Wayne up in 3rd, Sam up in 4th. Good qualifying result from Sam, you know. Only 3 tenths off pole position, so he found a bit of pace.
Yeah, he did. The shame he couldn't capitalize on it, but he did have an amazing qualifying. He came to me in the DMs bragging about his quali, so he was definitely proud of it.
Well, he did out-qualify the great Marquez, so, you know, definitely something to be proud of.
Wonder where he finished, though.
Yeah, obviously he was involved in an incident with Jacob Jex, up Eau Rouge, on the first lap, I believe, so was it first or second lap? That didn't end too well. Rafa, though, he didn't have it all his own way. He had that battle with Louis, who ended up DNFing. High DNF number. Odems, is that just, you know, the Prestige tier having, you know, not that the attitude is in a sense that every point counts? Do you think?
No. First I want to say shout out to Leo Blade, who's in the chat. Hello. Our season 9 drivers and constructors champion.
And season 8 constructors champion as well.
Oh yeah, season 8 constructors champion.
I thought you were the stat man.
F1 alumni, so everyone in the chat, say hi and treat him with respect. And to answer your question, which I've kind of forgotten already, oh yeah, Prestige tier. To be fair, it was really difficult conditions, because it was raining, but it was raining for a long time in the dry. Oh yeah, and season 7 constructor champion. Yeah, fair enough. It was raining a long time in still dry conditions, so we were on dry tires while there was puddles, and obviously this would help an ABS user in the wet, but that's that's another story. But yeah, it was a very tricky, and Eau Rouge, going up Eau Rouge is so treacherous, and a lot of drivers crashed there. Even I crashed there, which I know will shock a lot of people, but even I crashed.
Can't help but laugh, can you, everyone? So, Rafa, as we mentioned, took his first win. Lakitu took 2nd position, Odems. He had a fantastic race from 7th on the grid. Him and Francis almost had a moment where he desynced him into the wall, but Lakitu somehow kept the car under control.
I was looking back on that, and I thought they were both dead, and I was so happy. But Lakitu just reappeared in my mirrors.
Yeah,
Don't know how he saved it.
Yeah, I think if we had obviously we have overtake of the week. Go and submit your overtakes to that one on the forum if you'd like to. Steward's office is still open, but yeah, if we had a save of the week, you would have to say he'd win that one hands down. But an old German podium. This is Wayne. Good result. We heard he almost didn't race. But this is Wayne, finished in 3rd position, so another good result for him. Blizzard somehow recovered to 4th. after that incident, I believe. Started from the back of the grid because he got disqualified in qualifying. Give us a bit of inside information. Was he still as calm when that happened in Party?
Yeah, he was actually, because he was supposed to give me slipstream, and I was supposed to give him slipstream, so that's why I went out so early. And I invalidated my lap as per. But yeah, he was just like, I've been disqualified. So everyone was just freaking out, wondering why, because he was sort of slowing down to let oncoming cars pass. And yeah, the game was having absolutely none of it, and they disqualified him for blocking the pit lane. So yeah, he had to start all the way at the back, and he got from wing damage, and somehow he still recovered to fourth place. So that does make the championship a bit more interesting, but Blizzard still will obviously be the favorite.
Ollie, top 5 position, good result for him. Took advantage of when his rivals faltered. And then there was 6th position, who I'm sure will be getting a penalty for his antics on Friday night,
really
acting like a complete, absolute idiot.
Really, you're just making a fool out of yourself right now. I don't know
No,
what
I think you do that on a permanent basis. But
6th place,
yeah,
had a
6th
great
place,
race.
yeah, great race, yeah. Anyway, I know the stewards are going to be looking at that. So you never thought you'd be back in the steward's office, but
I don't know what they
you
could
basically belong there.
I don't know what they could possibly be stewarding me for.
I reckon there's more rules that you probably didn't break than broke.
What?
No, vice versa. Switch that round.
Yeah, good English.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, no, I really don't know what you could possibly be talking about. All I know is that through the final corner I was spun, and the only way I could cross the line was to do it in reverse.
Typical
And
dirty driver.
I think the stewards will sympathize with me that I had no other option, and I don't think I'll be getting a penalty.
You don't know?
Anytime soon.
Well,
No,
watch this
of course
space,
not.
everyone. If you could record that, put it into a GIF, and then when the stewards are released on Tuesday, we can all tweet about it and show how much
You're
of
just
a.
making yourself look so silly here, Nick. I'm afraid
No,
you're just
I'm afraid I'm really not.
so wrong.
Anyway, Red Bull, can they wrap up the constructors next week? We obviously need to wait for the standings to update after stewards results, but it's looking like it's pretty much done and dusted for you boys.
I believe it's 171 points per. Is it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
171
I think so.
points.
43 times 4.
We need a gap of 342, and we have one of I think 300 and something. So I do think that if there's a good result next week, then yeah, for sure, Red Bull could definitely.
So I'd have to send you a trophy, but if you were to be disqualified from the season for your antics on Friday, then I wouldn't have to send you anything.
Don't know what what avenue you're going through. You're really just jumping through hoops here. I don't know what you could possibly be talking about.
Denial.
It's penalty worthy, let alone disqualification worthy.
Speaking of penalties, so let's have a little chat about today's one. Vettel's penalty handed Hamilton the win. Your thoughts on it, Odems? Unbiased, of course.
Yeah, you're biased, so anything you say will be completely what's the word I'm looking for?
The truth?
Wrong. Just no one to a pinch of salt is what we need to take your opinions with. I feel like the stewards in F1 need to take a look at our stewards in Mark and White Fountain. Yeah, they're the ones who exemplify proper unbiasedness, judgment.
Well, we'll find out on Tuesday when they dish out your penalty.
And I know for a fact that those two could not possibly make a wrong decision.
I know they couldn't. So whatever penalty you get on Tuesday, you just said it. They could not make a wrong decision. So
whatever verdict I get on Tuesday will be 100% spot on, because the F1 stewards need to learn from them, because it was a farce, really, an absolute farce.
Alrighty, well, we are pretty much going to leave it there. Hope you all enjoyed. Obviously, we are sponsored by Next Level Racing. Make sure you check them out on our Twitter. We will be back on Friday. Odems, just a quick chat. Friday, round 6.
Yeah, Germany. Hate that track for the Germans. Not looking forward to it.
That was slightly unethical, but yeah, Germany. I think it's a good track. Lots of opportunities for overtaking. Hopefully, we get a bit of a better turnout in the prestige and podium tier, precision tier.
Yep.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, do you expect to see any surprise results?
I do hope to see Rafa in the wall. I hope to see Nick facing the wrong way after turn 1 with no front wing. I'll be hoping to see a Red Bull
There's like 5
1-2.
Nicks in this league.
I'm hoping to see the worst Nick out of all of them facing the wrong way after turn 1. I'd like to see a Red Bull 1-2 across all 4 tiers, and I'd like to see me starting in a position that would look like I didn't get a quali ban, because I wouldn't get a quali ban, you know.
Obviously not.
Yeah.
But when do you plan on scoring a good result this season, just whilst we've got you here for an exclusive?
Scoring my what?
A good result.
I mean, I literally got second last week, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but then what happened this week and the previous weeks?
I got sixth this week. I have more points than you. What are you talking about? I'm like fifth in the championship.
Alright, anyway, prediction for each tier. Who do we reckon is going to win? Well, Joshua will win the podium tier.
Yeah.
The precision tier, I personally think that...
Rusty.
Depends if it's wet. I think
Ah,
that...
yes.
I'm going to go for Chris in the in Germany. And then for precision tier, obviously I will lap the entire field.
Pinnacle tier.
Yeah, Pinnacle tier,
But
that's
you
what
are
I mean.
precision tier pace, to be
No,
fair.
I'm probably podium
So
tier pace.
I understand why
Josh
you would
keeps
think
beating
that.
my qualifying times from the podium tier, so... yeah, and then for the prestige tier, obviously Sam or Rafa are going to go on and win that one, and Odans will not be taking part because he'll be banned, given a stage 3 driver code for reversing across the line last week.
Probably tell Nick that Rafa isn't a part of the One Hub Esports team anymore, so he doesn't need to keep praising him.
It doesn't matter.
I think
Let's share his
that
joy.
boat is long sailed, I'm afraid.
Alright, well, before we talk about boats and sailing, we will leave it there. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back, as we said, for round 6 of season 13. Only 3 to go to finish off F1 2018. We haven't had anyone stuck in the pits this season. Don't want to curse it, but there you go.
Canyon got stuck in the pits.
Did he get stuck in pits? He got released though, didn't he?
Yeah, after only 50 seconds, yeah. So, no one's stuck in the pits at all, you're right.
Could be worse, could be worse. Alrighty, well, best of luck to all the drivers taking part on Friday. Thanking you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed hearing from myself and Mr. Marquez. And this will probably be the last time because he'll probably be banned from the league for his antics on Friday. So give him a kiss on the way out. And wish you all luck on Friday. Thank you for joining us and have the rest of a nice Sunday evening. Thank you. Go Hamilton.